Okay, the next award will be the International Cooperation Award.
Established in 1988, the AIAA International Cooperation Award recognizes an individual or individuals who have made significant contributions to the initiation, organization, implementation, or management of activities with significant United States involvement that include extensive international cooperative activities in space, aeronautics, or both. Past recipients of the International Cooperation Award include Graham T. Gibbs, Dr. Jean-Michel Contant, Dr. Scott Pace, Dr. Russell M. Cummings and Andreas Schutte, and Simonetta De Pipo. This year, the award honors 3 individuals: Melissa B. Rivers, Research Aerospace Engineer in the Research Directorate at NASA's Langley Research Center; Dr. John C. Vassberg, a Boeing Technical Fellow and Technical Lead at the BCA Advanced Concepts Design Center, the Boeing Company; and Dr. Richard A. Wahls, Strategic Tactical Advisor for the Advanced Air Vehicle Program, NASA Aeronautics Directorate, for their vision, leadership, and implementation of the NASA Common Research Model, advancing United States and international research collaboration on industry-relevant challenges in open forums. The trio developed the NASA Common Research Model, or CRM, to meet the international aerospace community's need for a modern, industry-relevant research model that could accommodate open and public geometries, process advanced experimental data, including data for high-quality computational fluid dynamics validation studies, and serve as an international standard reference wind tunnel testing model that enables comparisons between facilities. Wahls developed the model's goals and characteristics of the transport configuration. Vassberg worked on the detailed aerodynamic design of the configuration, especially the geometry in the model, which was critical to its success. Rivers actualized the concept with wind tunnel tests and also established a NASA CRM website that is available to users of the model. Aerospace agencies from France, Germany, and Japan have used the NASA CRM, as have researchers from around the world who are continually working on areas of additional research and development for the model as they continue to refine it.
My mom always told me the first word I ever said was airplane. We were under a landing pattern from RDU. I knew I wanted to be an engineer. I loved the space program. I loved airplanes. I was going on college tours and I saw a wind tunnel with a model in it being tested at North Carolina State University. And I said, okay, that's for me. It brings a lot of things together.
I guess my journey did start when I was about 8 years old. We went on a tour of Kennedy Space Center, my family and I. And as we were getting off the tour bus, my mom told the driver that I wanted to be an astronaut when I grew up. He said, well, I'm sorry, but you can't become an astronaut. And once he said that, that was it. From then on until I got to college, I was determined I was at least going to work for NASA, and here I am.
Well, me getting into aerospace is kind of a long story, but I grew up on a farm in South Texas. I always thought that I'd go back and farm. My best friend growing up, their family ran a crop dusting outfit. So I was around airplanes my whole life. And so when I went to college, I wanted to study something interesting. I entered into the aerospace engineering department, knowing full well that I'd graduate and go back and farm. But as I got further and further into this, I really enjoyed what I was learning, and I realized then that I was going to have to give this a go.
The International Cooperation Award, it speaks directly to what we were trying to accomplish. You go all the way back to the beginning, even before the Common Research Model, or CRM. The beginnings with the drag prediction workshop, when we hosted NASA meetings to begin defining the Common Research Model. We were trying to figure out a way to have the community at large, across borders, internationally, assess the state of the art of computational fluid dynamics.
The idea was, let's develop a a high quality, a contemporary transonic transport geometry that we could push out into the public domain. We would build a wind tunnel model for it. NASA would test it in multiple facilities.
We have taken it to Germany to test in the European Transonic Wind Tunnel. We have taken it to Canada to test in the National Research Council's wind tunnel.
The Japanese caught me in the hallway and said, "John, we want to build our own." Unfortunately, Rich and I sized it just a little bit too big to fit into their facilities, so they actually built their own at an 80% scale of the NASA CRM.
I believe the Common Research Model is contributing in a positive way. It's setting up a new model where we can share data openly. It doesn't have to be proprietary.
In order to accomplish something like the Common Research Model and the activities that we've done, it requires teamwork. It's not just Rich Wahls, Melissa Rivers, and myself. There are dozens of folks spread out all over the world.
Collaboration, I believe, is important in the aerospace industry, so we can build off of each other's strengths and learn from others' mistakes.
Everybody's showing what they've done well and what everybody agrees with, but everybody's also showing where the disagreements are, and that leads to uncovering causes, and it helps everybody improve.
And if there's any lesson I've learned in all of this, there's no way any one person could accomplish something this monumental by themselves.
AIAA would like to invite our 3 recipients of the 2017 AIAA International Cooperation Award to join us on the stage. Melissa Rivers, John Vassberg, and Richard Wahls. Please join us.
All right, I was elected to start. This is an incredible honor. I mean, we just looked at each other and just went, wow. It's such a great feeling to be recognized by the AIAA, and as Sandy said earlier, being recognized by AIAA means being recognized by your peers, and there's nothing better than that. And as you saw in the video, this award is really about working together, and it's working together around the world. This actually started about 10 years ago, and it started in evening meetings at AIAA conferences. And people who know me know that I schedule a lot of meetings in the evenings at AIAA conferences, and a lot of things, good things come out of it, and this is probably the best thing that's ever come out of it. We started with a group of U.S. Aerodynamics leaders. I want to acknowledge people from the organizations, the Air Force, the Navy, Cessna, Beech, Gulfstream, Northrop, Lockheed, Boeing, and NASA. When we first created this model, I made the promise that we would do everything we could to actually build it and test it. And a couple people in the room made sure I wasn't a liar, and that includes Faye Collier and Ruben Del Rosario, who got us off on the right foot. And then we went into testing. Melissa will say a little bit more about that. Before I step away, I do want to say a big thank you to my family who's here. I couldn't be here without my family. And as kids get older, it's hard to get everybody in the same place at once. And they're all here tonight. And tonight we're going to take the best Christmas picture ever.
To follow on what Rich said, I would just like to thank the test team from NASA. There were several of us that traveled with the model to test it in different tunnels. Scott Goodliff, Ashley Dittburner, and Jim O'Shaughnessy really did the hard work. And I'd also like to thank our international testing partners, including JAXA, DLR, SAGI, NRC Canada, and several others. Without their cooperation, this would not be possible. And I'd like to thank my family, who, with their support, this would not be possible if they didn't allow me to go and test in different countries and in different tunnels. So thank you.
Folks, I have the best job in the world. And I get to work for the Boeing Company, and they actually pay me. Not sure how that worked out, but it did. In addition to all the institutions and folks that Melissa and Rich had already mentioned, I'd like to also thank pay special recognition to the Applied Aerodynamics Technical Committee of AIAA. They sponsored Rich and I to get started with the drag prediction workshop back in January of 2000. And a lot of good things have come from that. In addition to that, at the Boeing Company in particular, I want to recognize Rob Gregg, who is Chief Aerodynamicist of BCA. He was one of my strongest supporters in this endeavor, and he pushed me, and it's paying dividends. On more of a personal note, I have two gentlemen sitting at my table tonight, my strongest mentors, Bob Liebeck of the Boeing Company and Professor Anthony Jameson of Stanford University. I've known these gentlemen for 35 years now, and it's been a wonderful ride. And last but not least, I'd like to thank my beautiful bride, Claire Vassberg. She's been my biggest fan and swiftest critic when necessary. She's my moral compass and a true partner for this journey called life. Thank you all.